Now you realize that there was never any love. Your entire relationship was exploitation, nothing more. Your friends and family say, get over it. Well, it's not that easy. Still, recovery is possible. I'm Donna Andersen, author of Lovefraud.com, and this is the first installment of our series, 5 Steps to Recovery from the Sociopath. Today will be an overview, and then for the next 5 weeks, we'll talk about each one of the steps in depth. They're not fast or easy, but the healing is real. So let's get started. When you finally understand that your romantic partner is a sociopath, the behavior that was so confusing makes sense. The person you loved and who you thought loved you has a personality disorder. Now you realize that anything your partner told you could have been a lie. Now you know why your partner could be so cruel and then tell you how much he or she loved you, practically in the same breath. Now you realize that there never was any love, that your entire relationship was exploitation and nothing more. So now what do you do? How do you move forward? How do you recover? Many of your friends and family tell you, just get over it, put it behind you, move on. You are particularly likely to hear this if you were only dating the person and not married. The friends and family dispensing this pithy advice probably were never involved with a sociopath. They mean well, but they don't understand the depth of the betrayal. When you split from a sociopath, it is not a normal breakup. The intensity of these relationships makes the end incredibly painful. So here are 5 steps for true recovery. This process is not instant, and it will likely be somewhat painful, but a new, much healthier you is waiting on the other side. So, step number 1. Understand the relationship is an addiction. All romantic relationships are addictive. The sociopath created intensity in the beginning of the relationship by showering you with attention, wanting to be with you all the time, claiming that you were soulmates, and painting a glimmering picture of your future together. Yeah. You probably never experienced such adoration, so you believed that he or she was head over heels in love with you. Even if you felt misgivings, you suppressed them and focused on the promise of happily ever after. Then, sooner or later, the sociopath did something to make you feel fear or anxiety. Perhaps you caught your partner lying or cheating. Perhaps he or she suddenly became enraged and threatened to end the relationship. Why? You have absolutely no idea. Whatever it was, the bliss that you felt in the beginning was shattered, and you wanted it back. You asked what was wrong, tried to work things out, perhaps even apologized for something that you didn't do. Eventually, the sociopath relented, and you kissed and made up. Then, the whole cycle started again. Intense attraction, an incident causing fear and anxiety, relief. Around and around it went. This process has a profound psychological effect. It actually makes you addicted to the relationship. That's why it's so hard to break up with a sociopath. You're not breaking off a relationship, you're breaking an addiction. Here's step number 2. Find the strength to choose yourself. Addictions don't just go away. Anybody who has quit smoking, drinking, drugs, or any other addiction knows that it's hard work. You need to choose yourself, your health and well-being, over the addiction. Then you need to work on your recovery, day in and day out. A relationship with the sociopath is the same. You cannot simply put it behind you. You cannot fully recover by locking your devastation into an internal closet, never to be opened, while attempting to go through the motions of living. If you do this, you simply end up with an emotional cancer within you, eating away at your life force. The solution is to choose yourself. Make a commitment to yourself that you will recover, and then work it day by day. Here's step number 3. Break dysfunctional emotional ties. The first way to do this is no contact. Get the person out of your life. Stop seeing and talking to him or her. Block emails and text messages. Don't visit his or her Facebook page. This will be difficult in the beginning because remember, you are breaking an addiction. You'll feel a compulsion to contact your former romantic partner. But if you do, it's just like an alcoholic falling off the wagon. You'll be back at square one, and you'll have to start the recovery process all over again. The secret to breaking the addiction, as they say in 12-step programs, is to take it one day at a time. So commit to yourself that you will not contact the sociopath today. Then you make the same commitment tomorrow, and then the next day. The longer you stay away from the sociopath, the stronger you become. Here's step number 4. Identify your own vulnerabilities. Getting the sociopath out of your life is only the first part of your recovery. The second and most important part is healing whatever made you vulnerable to the sociopath in the first place. We all have vulnerabilities. It's part of being human. We have internal fears, doubts, and injuries from our past. The sociopaths target our weaknesses because that's the easiest and most effective way to hook us. Usually, the weaknesses boil down to a subconscious belief deep within us that we are not good enough. We rationalize that our mother ignored us or our father abused us because we were not good enough. We assume that an earlier romantic involvement failed because we were not good enough. These ideas may have been deeply buried, but they still caused pain, and pain creates vulnerability. Sociopaths can sense vulnerability like a shark senses blood in the water. Finally, step number 5, deep healing for emotional recovery. So, we're all walking around with deep wounds from the sociopath and also from traumas before we encountered the sociopath. What do we do with them? We acknowledge that they exist. We look at them and allow ourselves to feel the associated emotions: pain, disappointment, fear, anger, rage, numbness. And then we let the emotions go. This is a process, and it's best done in private or with the help of a competent therapist. You'll find that you have layers and layers of pain, and as you release one, another rises to take its place. You may find yourself crying, wailing, or stomping to release anger. You work your way through the layers of emotions, acknowledging, feeling, and releasing. You can't do this all at once. It's too draining, and you still have your life to live. In fact, you should intersperse these sessions of releasing times with treating yourself well and feeling joy at whatever goodness you experience, no matter how small it is. True recovery isn't easy, fun, or instant. It takes work and a commitment to yourself. But the rewards are so wonderful. Release from old traumas, life lived with peace and lightness, the opportunity for true love and happiness. It all begins with making a decision to recover. So that's the introduction for this series on 5 steps to recovery from the sociopath. Over the next 5 weeks, I'll go into more detail on each one of the steps. My hope is to help you to start or continue in your recovery. As I said, it's not easy, but it is absolutely worth the effort. If you need assistance, you'll find it at Lovefraud. We have thousands of articles, including many people who are telling stories that may sound really familiar to you. You are certainly not alone. We have webinars by therapists and other experts to help you escape and recover. And I'm always happy to work with you one-on-one. I can offer you practical advice. I can also help ease the stress and tension with my deep emotional release technique and also through Reiki. So just go to lovefraud.com/talk to Donna. Even after the sociopath, full recovery is possible.